Since we record the guitars on two different continents, all the guitars will be reamped by Dave so that it sounds consistent. And yeah, it just absolutely makes sense because he's able to change the sound until the very end, and he knows what sounds best in the mix.
Guitar tracks for the record. What did we do? What did we use? For all of the technical people out there that really want to know, it's going to get a little guitar porn, guitar nerdy right now for a couple seconds. Usually I just track with one guitar that works well for everything. Rhythm, lead, just consistency's sake. But this time around I just threw all that to the wind and wanted to just try as many things as possible. As you start to build an arsenal, and what good is having, you know, a pile of gear and guitars if you don't use any of it. DI work, record everything, send it to our musical maestro, Dave Otero, who's, you know, responsible. He's our tone master for all of these things, so, you know, he knows more about how to get everything perfectly sitting in the mix. I'm not gonna fight the man that knows how to deal with all of that, so we send him just all the guitar takes that sound just like clean, unplugged things, and then he puts them through all of the amps that he has and makes it sound infinitely better than just if we were playing unplugged.
Here's my setup. First thing in the chain is of course the tuner, probably the most important thing, and that's a Peterson Strobo Stomp. Just an incredible tuner, best one I ever used. I prefer the feeling to track through something real. I don't care if it's a real amp or if it's a modeler. What I don't like is tracking with plugins. They sound absolutely amazing, don't get me wrong, but I always feel this kind of a latency. Some of the rhythm guitars are incredibly fast and very technical, and you want to feel and hear every detail, so I just need the response. I used my beloved Blue Guitar Amp 1 Iridium. It's probably the best thing I bought in the last couple of years, and I bought a lot of stuff. A full-blown 100 watts tube amp with a nano tube, 4 channels, great sounds, everything you need, super small and lightweight. Thomas Blug did an incredible job with that thing. If you don't know that unit, you should really try it, or yeah, buy it. It's just so good. Here we have the Deadweld Duality DX. That's my drive pedal. It has 2 channels, a green and a blue version. The green is their take on a Tube Screamer, and yeah, sounds amazing. I use the green one all the time. The Radial J48 DI box, I think a lot of people use this one. It's just really reliable. It splits the signal. One signal goes to the amp and the other one goes direct into my Apollo Twin. So I can record 2 signals. One is the amp sound and the other one is the DI signal to reamp everything. Yep, and here's the 2 notes Torpedo Captor X load box.
To track everything, to get comfortable and to feel like you're doing it, I use Soft Tube stuff. Soft Tube Amp Room is the plugin. Sounds great, phenomenal company, phenomenal people, phenomenal response to playing and tracking, makes demo stuff sound infinitely more polished and professional than stuff that I had recorded professionally years ago.
Welcome to Fierce City. So, as I've discussed previously, there's a certain concept that was applied to this record that really covers the time of 1981, which is a very dark time. Welcome to Fierce City was actually a bulletin as well that was released by New York for the tourists, as I stated. But what is it really doing as well? I mean, as far as in the contents of the context of the song, KK, he is in his travels to finish something that he started once before, but he's still actually tortured by the loss of his family, and he really has to drive that point home. You'll have to wait and see what it is.
The title track is a thrash banger. Fast riffing all over the place and a killer hook in the chorus. I think it'll be one of our singles. Our label boss Ollie also said we really should think about that. So I guess that's what we do.
So let's see, guitars. Come on down, the price is right. My ESP USA custom shop. Extra sparkles. You can get that in there. Yeah, there we go. That's for Sponge. Our magic. These get a lot of use, so there's a lot of sweat and dirt and all kinds of stuff. I wish I could have had them all polished up, but I have been busy playing shows, so... Oh, again, this has a DiMarzio in the bridge. I won't tell you what, I'm not giving away all of my secrets. This is my Fastback custom shop signature Marcus Johansson pickup here that I have in the neck. Nice little kill switch here for all kinds of fun 80s stuff. Titanium hardware from FU Tone. Check those guys out. Those guys rule. Okay, so that was used quite a bit on the record there. Then we move down the line to this ESP E2 snapper. Bare knuckle pickups on this guy. Same thing with the hardware for guitar geeks. Bolt on versus neck through. Does it sound that different? Maybe, maybe not. And then the secret weapon, one of my first guitars that I got from ESP when I became an artist, is this particular LTD. Beautiful Koa 5-piece neck, all this fun nonsense. Also with DiMarzio pickups in there, and the clean tones that this thing generates are stupid. Inspired me to then throw the DiMarzio into the custom shop because the pickups on that are just great. So that's where all the rhythm and lead tones came from. We had a couple extras. Another LTD with 27 frets that got a little bit of use into some of the solo stuff for the extra high notes that nobody has ever asked for. And a couple other guitars made appearances, so some stuff has Seymour Duncan pickups, some stuff has Fishman pickups. It's just, wanted to just try and experiment with different things. I had a lot of fun with it, and I feel like it kind of enhanced the playing a little bit more, and you just do what you gotta do. So yeah, I think that's about it for me.
Here's my baby. That's a Sir Modern. I think the model is called Black Satin or something. It's just 7 years old, but I played it all the time, so it looks really beaten up. If you ever saw me live the last couple of years, I probably played this guitar, and I played it on all the records, all Septicon records, I think even the last Lanfear album and all the Dem releases. I changed the pickups a couple of times because I was never 100% satisfied, and now there's a Heusel TOS XL in the bridge and a Vintage Plus in the neck, and I think both will stay. They sound really, really great. I tracked the main rhythm guitars with my new ESP Horizon. It's actually a used model, but the guy who bought it in 2005 didn't play it, and it was sitting in its case for 16 years, which is incredible. So I bought that guitar, and it was, brand new but used. It even had the original strings on it. Great guitar. I replaced the bridge pickup with a Seymour Duncan Omega. Sounds good. And I used this guitar for all the main rhythm guitars on the new album. Another guitar I bought used, that's an ESP M2, a 2006 model, and the guy who owned it before, he was the total opposite to the other guy, so that guitar was really beaten up. It really needed a refretting, and I also had to change the Floyd Rose because the old one was, not the best anymore, and put a new shallow Floyd Rose in it. Pickup also was replaced with a Häusl TOS XL, same one I have in my Sir Modern. Now it's just perfect, and I played almost all the leads with it.
So one of the most enjoyable and fun songs that we've created on this record comes in the form of Retro 54. Now, Retro 54 is no different than the other songs on this record in the sense that it covers a particular place during KK Foster's travels and his quest to complete what he needs to complete. But that's thematically, but realistically, it was a lot of fun to record, a lot of fun to sing something different, as from my perspective, to sing something different in the sense where it's more in line with the time period that this song takes place thematically. So it was a lot of fun, and when I listen to it, when I listen back to it, it makes me feel good. It makes me smile. It makes me just want to get up and jump around. It's just a lot of fun.
An album with a setting in the 80s also needs a typical 80s AOR hard rock hit. That was the time when I grew up, so I know exactly what I'm talking about. And that was the intention for Retro 54. I just wanted to write a song like that, of course, in that certain Them atmosphere. The problem was I didn't have one single idea at that time, but already knew how the song should sound and that it simply has to become one of the lead singles for the record. That was the plan from the beginning, though I had just nothing. But that very often is the case with me. It's just how I work. So I improvised, I jammed, and somehow came up with that hard rock intro riff that sounds so much like the 80s that I almost had to laugh. I had that riff, then wanted to, add that nice little intro key lead that also leads into that disco groove, and one thing leads to the other, as it always is. I think Retro is a song in the vein of Witchfinder when it comes to those super catchy hook lines with a smart twist, but it also shows some influences you definitely haven't heard from us until now. Troy did a fantastic job with the vocal lines. I just love how everything flows, and I like that he uses so many words in the chorus, and it's still a hit. It's not that often that a singer does something like that. Just love it.